Hey, what is up, guys? It's your boy, Kingdom Soldier, and I'm back again with another commentary. I wanted to wait to make a video until I got out of my feels. Um, it may sound weird, like I'm a grown man with a family. I got kids and a wife, and you know, I got bills to pay and car payments, and I'm trying to move right now, and my career is changing in life, but I'm honestly down a little bit, you know. This is the weirdest announcement that Optic Gaming has probably ever made, because we knew that it was a wasp trying to sting me. We knew that Optic was going to make a change. We actually knew the roster. Like, this isn't usual for us. But what we didn't know was that Hitch wasn't going to be making Vision anymore. And so, if you haven't seen Vision, sorry, I should have spoiler alerted you, but Hitch is no longer going to be producing Vision. What made Vision the most watched series on the Optic Gaming channel, what made this team what it was that we had someone who was an expert at telling the story of what happened in their lives and what happened at the events. And Hitch, as much as these players, basically was a part of the team. You know, there's all these other teams that Hitch had to take video of, and he had to travel with Gears sometimes, and he had to travel with Halo sometimes, and he had to travel with CSGO sometimes. But the Hitch that started Vision, it was started around this Optic Gaming roster, this team. And it's what carried the whole show, in my opinion, was the ups and downs and the dynamics of this roster and getting to see them behind the camera. And I love Roger. Roger does a good job with what he does, and I'm sure he's going to do a good job with Vision, but I don't know if our scene has, well, I'll say it this way. Nobody is better suited to tell the story of Damon, Matt, Ian, and Seth than Davis. And so it makes sense that he's now not going to be the person doing Vision, but it's just sad. You know, it's like basically Optic Gaming, that team, that roster was 5 people. And 6 if you count Hector. And Hector's still going to be involved. But at the end of the day, we were all right. You know, like one of the things that Seth and Crim were saying in Vision is that, you know, they get frustrated when the community thinks they know the team better than they do, but we all know that they had drama. We all know that they had problems. We just were hoping that they would get over it and keep playing, because the reality of that team is that if you ask me, now remember, I'm in my feels right now. I'm in a place where I'm not like smiling and happy about the decision and everything yet. And so is the 4 players that won 18 championships together and placed top 3 26 times, are those 4 players better than the current LG? Yes. Are those 4 players better than the current Optic Gaming? Yes, absolutely, hands down. Like, I would bet to say that at top form, if they could play together, if they didn't have all the infighting and the challenges and the ego stuff, which they said themselves, if they didn't have all of that, I would say they're the best team in the game. I wouldn't even, yes, I think Rise is amazing. I think they have the top AR, and I think they have the best flex, but the top AR and the best flex could be on Optic Gaming. The best SMG could be on Optic Gaming. The best leader could be on Optic Gaming if those 4 stuck together. And I know they're not sticking together, so it's kind of jacked up for me to talk about it. And this video isn't meant to say bad job Optic. I actually appreciate that Hector at the beginning of Vision stated that there's decisions that he's advised that they just haven't done. There's things that he wanted done that just didn't happen, and all he can do, because he sold some ownership, is there's areas where he can only suggest, you know, and he knows the thing about losing, the thing about moving forward in life, and when you lead a team and when you lead an organization, is that transition is always difficult, because no matter what, when you're giving away influence, you have to let some go. And when you let some influence go and some leadership go, the decisions that are going to be made, you're not going to agree with all of them. And so it isn't the same Optic Gaming. It can't be the same Optic Gaming, because it's no longer just Optic Gaming, you know. And this vision and the things that Hector talked about in his portion of vision, the dropping of Kenny and the changes, the losing the Halo team, and the things that have happened, and the loss of the 2 players on the CSGO team and the changing of that roster, like the things that have happened in Optic Gaming, it almost feels like things are crumbling. But at the core, you know that the values that and the culture of Optic that Hector has always wanted to be a part of that brand, they are still fighting for that culture. They're still fighting for those values, for it to be a family, for it to be friends, not co-workers, you know, like those things. That's what Optic Gaming is. And unfortunately, like Hector said, the new Call of Duty team sat down to eat a couple days ago, and that was the first time that the Call of Duty team sat down to eat dinner with Hector and Hitch and whoever else in 2 years. And that's unfortunate, you know. That's realistically unfortunate. And listening to everything that Crim said and everything that Seth said, it almost kind of hurts, you know. Like, and I know if I'm Hex, I'm not regretting, but I'm looking at decisions that I've made and saying, man, there has to be a way that I could have changed the way things turned out with this whole situation. You know, Optic Gaming is going to be fine. Hector has built a reliable and lasting brand. And it is a brand that has to learn to exist without him making all of the decisions, you know, at the top. And that's the challenging part of Optic Gaming. You know, I'm glad to hear that Hitch is still going to be a part of Optic and that he's just not producing Vision, you know. But what I loved about this episode of Vision is it was like a real talk roundtable. You know, Hector spoke honestly. Scump and Crim spoke honestly. Kenny from the Gears team spoke honestly. Hitch spoke honestly. Like, everybody was just honest about, and the one missing link of that video was Karma 3 rings. I'm sure that for some reason a decision was made to not include Karma in Vision, because maybe he was still potentially going to play on TK as main AR or something, or maybe he was going to, maybe there's another team that was going to pick him up, or he didn't know what he was going to do. I can say that I've heard the same rumors as Landon and others, and people have been in my DMs talking about Damon is going to be a content creator for Optic Gaming. And I just gotta say, man, like, this, you know what this feels like? To be honest with you guys, this feels like when Michael Jordan went to play baseball. This dude can win another ring. He can win 2 more. He's still that good. And for someone that can play the game that well to not be competing blows my mind. And, you know, I'm sorry I'm not the same usual happy-go-lucky kingdom and everything in this video, but I'm just not happy-go-lucky right now. And I figured, you know what, hey, the Optic guys made a video where they weren't all joyous and happy, and we're all in our feels right now, so I might as well just, you know, let this video come out, you know. Attach was saying something on Twitter. He was like, you know, it is going to be weird not playing against those guys. You know, it's like in the NBA when Michael Jordan left, and it's like, okay, so who are we competing against now? You know, we've been competing against Michael. It'd be like if after this year, LeBron just retired. This dude has hit 2 game winners and is averaging 35 points and is playing out of his freaking mind right now in the playoffs. And if he just retired next year, the whole Eastern Conference would be like, okay, so, you know, I kind of have been looking forward to beating this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are rosters that look forward to beating Optic Gaming and be able to, no matter what form they're in, if they're playing their worst or their best, beating Optic Gaming is beating Optic Gaming. But now it's going to be something different. It's a team that has to grow, and you know, to be honest, I mean, the roster is a good roster. We're talking about a guy who's an MVP this year that's won a championship, another guy who's won a championship, and 2 players in Scump and Crim that should have won a championship. And so it's not a bad team. It's just not the best team. And I understand, I get it, you know, I get what Crim and Scump are saying, that, you know, the infighting and the butting of heads and everything, it just became too much. You know, I will say that I'm saddened by the fact that Matt Piper and Damon Barlow didn't say anything on Vision. I'm really used to Optic. That would have been, in my opinion, and I think I said this before 2 videos ago or 3 videos ago, maybe the one about the dynasty coming apart, is that what I would have loved to have seen is the 4 of them sitting there together saying, we're not going to team anymore, and this is why. But they probably would have been arguing with each other. I really appreciate the maturity even of Seth and Crim, because in some of Crim's complaints, he's complaining about Seth. You know, and Scump was admitting that, like, yeah, me included, sometimes I didn't want to, you know, participate. I honestly believe, and I've said this before, Methodz and Octane will submit to Crimsix's leadership. They will. They're not going to pull a Kyrie Irving or anything like that. They're going to submit to, or I guess an Isaiah Thomas would be a way better example. But they're going to submit to Crimsix's leadership. And Scump has always been willing to submit, in my opinion, I could be completely wrong, to Crimsix's leadership. And this is going to be a great team. I would immediately call them a top 4 team out of the gate. Immediately, like, just like that, snap of the finger, they're a top 4 team. But do not sleep on LG with Formal. LG won a championship with Octane. Formal may play about 2 to 3 levels better than we've seen him play all year on this roster. And that's actually a good team. Like, you know, John dropping 40 and 50 bombs and Formal picking people off, that's going to be a dangerous team. I would probably also keep LG in the top 4 with Formal. And Division B is going to be, with Rise, LG, and Optic Gaming, is going to be bananas. It's going to be ridiculous. I cannot wait for Season 2. I cannot wait for Anaheim. It is going to be an amazing event. GG's to Optic Gaming on handling a very, very, very difficult situation as best you could. You know, I feel bad for Hector and the organization because they're just not used to the information not being controlled. They're not used to these leaks that have happened. They're not used to us knowing the roster before we watched Vision. You know, that moment in Vision where it was the 2 empty chairs, normally everybody would be on the edge of their seats like, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? But the minute it was Methodz and Octane, it was like, oh yeah, okay. It was like, well, we kind of knew that was going to happen. So GG's to ending it with Hitch sitting in the chair telling his story. Hitch, I love you, bro. Ever since I first saw you on UMG and we started DMing each other and we partnered up on the Sticks Live, I am proud of you, period. I am proud of you making a very tough decision. I am proud of you becoming a man and growing up. I'm proud of you for making steps toward what you see as your desired future. I'm proud of you taking control of your destiny and of your purpose, and I'm proud of you believing in yourself, that you have gone from UMG to TK, to G Fuel, to Optic Gaming, to Vision, to now Not Vision. Everything you've done tournaments on Modern Warfare 2. You've done throwback like, you're a visionary and an amazing and fantastic storyteller. And the one thing I know is I'm always going to be entertained by your content. I'm always going to be drawn in by your content. And I hope that we get even more content. You've been double uploading and stuff. I hope that we get even more content, more streams with you not working on Vision. But I also hope that you have some things that are stewing and that you and Aaron aren't done working together, because you guys were a great duo and a great team. And I just want to tell you, man, you've done a good job. You've done extremely well on Optic Gaming. And I'm so grateful that our lives crossed and intersected, and that we've been able to meet each other twice now. At both events I went to, I was able to meet you. The second event, I mean, Seattle was just, I understood where you were and what you were going through and what you were dealing with this team. And so good luck, bro. Good luck. I don't think you are one of the people that I've come across in gaming. There's two people that I've come across in gaming that I have not doubted that your ability would take you. You know, there's this saying in the community that I roll in that says your gift will make room for you. And your gift is going to continue to make room for you, and you're going to find yourself in places that you've never believed you would be. You may think you never thought you'd be on Optic Gaming, working in the offices and doing what you're doing now, doing Vision in front of 41,000 people, but that's nothing compared to the room that your gift is going to make for you. And the other person is Goalie. You know, what Goalie is doing with landing over at UMG is small potatoes compared to what Goalie can do. And we haven't seen the last of Goalie, and we may not have seen the last of Goalie and Kingdom working together. Nevertheless, this is your boy Kingdom Soldier, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.